Responsibility in the quantum sense is not about fixing what appears broken, organizing what appears chaotic, or carrying burdens that were never yours to hold. It is not about keeping the world in order. It is about keeping yourself in attunement. It is the recognition that the outer world is shaped, moment by moment, by the vibrational state of the individuals who engage with it. Your true responsibility is not to the conditions of the world, but to the field of consciousness you bring to those conditions. When you maintain inner alignment, you participate in the elevation of the collective. When you lose that alignment, you momentarily fall into the very distortions you once tried to correct. As your inward attunement strengthens through consistent practice, through the small, repeated moments of turning within, you will notice something remarkable beginning to happen. The word begins to rise within you on its own. You no longer generate guidance through effort or intention. You no longer need to ask, "What should I do?" Because the next step arises spontaneously from within your awareness. What once required effort becomes effortless. What once required conscious discipline becomes a natural movement of your being. This is the second stage of mastery, when guidance flows to you rather than being elicited by you. In this stage, inner communication becomes more frequent, more subtle, and more continuous. You may not hear words, but you will feel impulses, gentle nudges, sudden clarity, shifts in energy, or a quiet knowing that arrives fully formed without any linear thought behind it. This guidance will always be timely, always perfectly tuned to your needs, and always aligned with the highest outcome for all involved. You do not generate it, you receive it. You do not force it, you allow it. This is what it means to live in partnership with Source. Your responsibility then is simply to remain open, to remain inwardly turned, to remain receptive. You do not need to maintain this attunement perfectly, only consistently. You return to it again and again, not out of obligation, but out of recognition that everything you need is already present within the field of your inner being. The more frequently you return, the more easily the attunement stabilizes, and the more naturally the word arises within you. This is the quantum nature of responsibility on the ascending timelines. It is not something you perform, it is something you allow. It is not something you prove, it is something you become. And as you embody this inner orientation, you discover that the outer world responds in kind, harmony emerges without effort, solutions arise without strain, and your life becomes an expression of the inner source working through you, guiding you step by step into the new reality you came to help anchor. As humanity enters the most concentrated period of systemic transformation it has ever collectively navigated while remaining in physical form, there will be a natural gravitation toward those who radiate steadiness. People will instinctively seek out the individuals who emanate calm, coherence, and inner connectedness, not because these individuals claim authority, and not because they position themselves as leaders, but because their energy communicates safety in a world where old structures are wobbling. You will notice this occurring spontaneously. People will drift toward your presence, drawn by something they cannot name. They will feel your steadiness the way one feels the warmth of a fire in a cold room. They will sense the clarity in you, even before they understand what you have done internally to cultivate it. Your stability becomes a paramount bedrock layer in these times, and that stability does not come from controlling anything in the outer world. It comes from no longer being controlled by it. When your center of gravity shifts inward, when your sense of safety comes from your attunement to Source rather than from the consistency of external systems, you become immune to the destabilizing currents that will move through the collective. This immunity is not emotional numbness or detachment. It is spiritual rootedness. It is the realization that nothing can disturb the sanctuary within you unless you leave it. When others sense this inner refuge in your field, they feel it as relief. They feel it as possibility. They feel it as a reminder of something they have not yet remembered about themselves. Your stability mirrors their potential. Even if they cannot articulate it, what they perceive in you is the existence of a place within themselves where peace is possible, where clarity is accessible, and where fear loses its authority. You do not need to explain this. You do not need to instruct anyone in how to access it. Simply by being attuned, you help others feel, however briefly, their own capacity to attune as well. As outer structures wobble, financial systems, political frameworks, social institutions, global alliances, your inner attunement becomes a sanctuary not only for yourself, but also for the people who come into your sphere. This sanctuary does not depend on circumstances. It does not depend on predictions or outcomes. It does not depend on timelines. It is the direct result of your relationship with the inner source, cultivated through your repeated inward turning, your trust in the guidance that rises from within, and your willingness to rest in the secret place, even when the world around you is noisy and uncertain. You serve in this era not by performing, but by being. Your presence is your offering. Your coherence is your contribution. You do not need to hold the world together. You need only to hold yourself in alignment. From that alignment, your field broadcasts a frequency that interacts with the collective in ways that are subtle yet profoundly stabilizing. You anchor a kind of order that does not come from structure, but from consciousness. You embody a form of leadership that requires no title, no role, and no external recognition. This is why the starseed, the awakened one, the inwardly attuned individual, becomes essential in the years ahead. You are not here to save the world. You are here to stabilize it, to hold a space where others can breathe again, feel again, and reconnect with their own inner source. And as you embody this state more deeply, you will discover that the greatest service you can offer is the simplest: to remain anchored, receptive, present, and aligned with the truth that nothing in the outer world determines who you are or the peace available within you right now.